Hello and welcome to RStories. There's titles and timestamps in the description. Let's begin with the first story with the title Hotel Creeper. Kinda long, so my apologies. When I was 19, I worked nights at this shitty hotel chain in my hometown, and it was generally pretty chill. You'd get your weirdos and creeps, but I can handle my own and I got used to it pretty quickly. However, this guy was way worse than anything I had encountered up until that point. It was an average night, spent checking guests in, doing laundry, stocking, etc. There were two sets of doors at the entrance, the inner ones being locked after night shift starts. Dude shows up around 3 AM and rings me through the lobby phone set between the two doors. Immediately before I can even get my customer service on, he starts frantically demanding that I call medical transport, which I didn't really know what he was talking about, but I tried to help him the best I can, asking questions. Eventually, I just let him in so I can get a better idea of how to help, but when I do, his whole tone immediately changes. He starts speaking in this monotone voice and has the kinda dead stare. I've never seen eyes so void of all emotions. And, not to mention, he had no physical signs of injury. At all. Obviously, I was freaked out but tried my best to carry on normally, asking him more questions. After the first two questions, he just stops answering completely and continues staring. I keep repeating myself, and there's no change. He just keeps on staring. At this point, I'm pretty fed up with him, so I say, "Alright, I'm just going to call 911 to get you help." He then starts getting frantic again, going between begging me not to call and saying, "They won't let me go," and "I can't go back there." I tell him that I'm really not sure how to help him if he won't let me call emergency services, so he needs to leave. He didn't even seem to need medical assistance in the first place. This guy goes right back to ignoring everything I say and staring. Honestly, I should have just called the police right then, but I was overwhelmed by him and getting police involved is always a last resort for me. So I say, "You can rest here for 20 minutes and try to find alternative transportation, but then you need to go." And I go into the back to watch him on the cameras. 20 minutes go by and I come out to tell him to leave, but he starts arguing nonsensically. I go back into the back in exasperation. The cycle then repeats for like 2 more hours. Finally, I tell him that I'm calling the police, to which he replies, "Well, if you're going to be like that, I'll just leave." LOL, I mean, shit was comical at this point. I'm like, please do, I wanted that this whole time. I was so done with him, so I was basically yelling. He finally leaves. I did call the cops after that and reported him too. The freakiest part was that while telling my boyfriend at the time about this guy, he recognizes him from my description of his creepy ass stare and pulls up his mugshot with charges of RAPE, aggravated sexual assault, and a bunch of other shit. My then boyfriend worked at a homeless shelter for some years and he had seen the guy from time to time. After that, I felt so lucky that he was just a weird, creepy annoyance for me. Who knows what would have gone down in different circumstances. Creepy hotel guy, let's not meet. Holy shit. I would have just called the police immediately and left that dude outside. No, seriously, LOL, if I could go back, I would have never let him in at all. Definitely a lot smarter now. Scary situation. I would have went into the back and called the police. Maybe not warn him, just call the police. Incidentally, how long was he in a hotel in all? And what did he do when you went into the back? There's definitely a lot of things that I would do differently now. I think he was in a hotel for like 2, maybe 3 hours in total. And he didn't do much, just wander around the lobby, sit in the chairs, stuff like that. I'm not authorized to get water? Alright then. I work in the boat industry as an engine tech and parts painter. I know, quite a broad range right there. Anyway, the company I work for is quite old and the building I work in is even older. The heating system is trash, and we really lack anything in the way of air conditioning, and it's boiling outside right now. Earlier today, I had started overheating really quickly, as the temperature rose in the building. I have a medical condition where my body can't regulate temperature well, meaning that I am at risk of passing out. I was going to get a bottle of water from the fridge to help me cool down, when I was stopped by one of the company's managers. Let's call him Kyle for this story. "Where are you going?" "I was only going to get some water." "You're supposed to work right now. You can get water during the coffee break." I don't think you understand that I can actually be in danger from this heat right now. So, could I please go get one bottle of water? "No, you're not authorized to leave your work before the clock strikes. Now shut up and get back to work." Roger that. Keep in mind that this conversation was held in front of my coworkers. Cue malicious compliance. I got back to work, making sure to put on some extra coal just to make sure that I made up for lost time. Basically, I was forcing my body into shock and heat stroke was just around the corner. Fast forward around 30 minutes, I had to tell my coworkers through my strained breath that I didn't feel so good. Which was actually even worse now, as I was working on the deck of one of these boats, give or take 3 meters above the floor. When I made my way towards the ladder to climb down, I only got out a very strained "oh shit" as I fell off the back and was headed straight for the concrete floor below me. Lucky for me, some coworkers reacted fast enough and managed to catch me before my head was split open on the floor. I woke up in an ambulance around an hour later. The EMTs were checking my vitals and were helping me, and my boss came up to the door and asked me what happened. I told him exactly as I told you guys, and I also told him to check with my coworkers if he didn't believe me. I was brought to the hospital for a checkup, just to make sure that I actually didn't suffer any kind of trauma from the fall. A buddy of mine came with me to make sure I got there and back safe. A few hours passed and my buddy got a call and he picked it up, and it was Kyle. My buddy handed me the phone and I heard Kyle on the other end apologizing for actually almost getting me killed. He was heavily reprimanded for what he told me and was put on watch. Didn't lose his position though, so I guess I didn't fully win, but he was liable for the medical compensation for my situation. I did forgive him, and just to rub it in a little bit, I just had to ask him if I was authorized to get water next time. Oh my god, it takes a special kind of person to deny somebody water when they need it. But I'm not surprised at all. I think that it's not that uncommon today with people getting in trouble for bathroom breaks. Maybe this guy should have had a bottle of water with him. Maybe he had, but it was empty at that point. Anyway, let's look at the update to this story. First of all, hello again. I'm the idiot that almost died to prove a point. Before I continue, to all of you who were concerned about my safety and health, thank you. I never realized how many people would care. I'd also like to apologize for literally putting my own life in danger to prove a point. It was stupid. My family, the nurses, my girlfriend, and many of you made me realize just how stupid it was. And I will be more careful in the future. I'm now out of the hospital after being completely stabilized and I don't have any major trauma from this ordeal, so don't worry. A lot of things happened so far. My aunt, the main nurse assigned to me, and the nurses I knew personally all cussed me out for what I did and told me to make sure I better get health and safety to invade my job for this. My aunt put me in contact with a representative and I had a lengthy chat with that person. This got the ball rolling for the investigations to start. What I didn't expect was that even the police had to get involved. I was released from the hospital after a day and was told that I could work, but I was entitled to 10-minute breaks every hour if the temperature rose above 25 degrees. Which basically is every hour of the day. Anyway, I was clocked in today and was immediately approached by a man and a woman in high-vis clothes and hard hats. The woman introduced herself as the representative I had spoken to on the phone, and she basically asked me to backtrack and explain in detail what happened. I did, and she wrote everything down and let me be on my way, after reminding me to abuse my medical papers as much as I felt like. I don't know why, she just said that and walked away. I didn't hear much after that. The entire company was called into a large meeting about personal safety, and it was quickly established that I was the cause of said safety meeting. Whoops. Anyway, we were informed that Kyle, the dillweed manager, had been demoted to a normal worker and that we would be entitled to 5-minute breaks every hour due to the heat. Nice. He also said that due to the heat, the company will be purchasing drink coolers, fans, and would be compensating any worker that had to go home due to illness prompted by the heat. This part though shocked me. Frost is not allowed in any engine bay until the winter, due to temperatures in there being close to a sauna. We don't need him to almost die twice to understand that his condition is severe. Basically, anywhere the heat rises above 30 degrees, I am not allowed in for my own safety. That's as far as this situation has come. Once again, to those who were worried about me, thank you, and I'm sorry for making you worry about someone like me. Thank you for your time. And that was all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.